Shabbat Shalom. You will notice that it is me in the camera today, in the view today. That's because Cantor Norman, we are finally giving Cantor Norman the chance to go on a little vacation. He has been working pretty hard, certainly through the High Holy Days, and particularly last night, for those of you who were with us for our annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Interfaith Shabbat. You know what an incredible Shabbat experience that was. And so we are giving Cantor and his family a chance to get away. So I'm on my own, but not really on my own, because all of you are with me. And thank goodness Marcelo is with us as well. So we hope that you will sing along and support me as we join together for Shabbat. Oh, already my technology is not working. Rats. Yep. So I had a little fear that, there we go. Okay, thank goodness. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat abide. We join together for Ma Tovu.
Ma Tovu.
Oha lecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma Tovu. Oha lecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Blessed are you, eternal our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom, you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware we would lack the strength to stand in life before you. Blessed are you, Eternal One, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar umafli la'asod. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sechvi vina l'havchin ben yom uven laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokeh kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten layayef koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavir shenai menai utnu ma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael batifada. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Adonai, our God, make the words of your Torah sweet to us and to the house of Israel, your people, that we and our children may be lovers of your name and students of your Torah. We praise you, O God, teacher of Torah to our people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai hamelamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. Elu devarim she'en lehem shi'ur ve'elu hen. These are the things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, being gracious with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. From Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov, tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov, lehodot l'Adonai. Uzamer l'shimcha eryon, Ulezamer l'shimcha eryon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Yitkara v'yitkara shemei Rabba, be'alma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael. Bahagala, uv'izman kaharim, v'yimeru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbam mevorach, le'olam olol me'olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'halal, Shemei Kudisha, Brichu Le'ala Min Kol Birchata V'Shihirata, Tushvechata V'Nechemata, Dahamihiran Be'alma, V'Imeru, Amen. We rise for Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy, you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness, you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom, you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you have created. May they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we may all swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer hameorot. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us, making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah. Focus our minds on your mitzvot. Unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us. Truly, you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praised are you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael, be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vahed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, bedibartaha baham, beshivtecha bevetecha, uvelechtecha vaderech, uveshochbecha uvekumecha, ukeshartam leot al yadecha, vehayula totafot benenecha, uketavtam al mezuzot beitecha, Uvisharecha leman tiskeruhu vasitem et kol mitzvotai veitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem lelohim, ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emed. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our generation, for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neheda b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neheda b'kodesh, Nora tehilo, Osefele, Nora tehilot, Osefele, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha neheda b'kodesh, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha neheda b'kodesh. Zu Yisrael, kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, Ufedechinu mecha Yehuda be'Yisrael, Go aleinu Adonai tzavaot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We rise for Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi hagid tehilatecha, Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gon El Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Hoser u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaya Kol Ata, Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv Haruach u'Morihid Haga Hashem, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Zohomech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Ahafan, Michamocha Ba'givurot, Umidom Elach, Melech Meimid, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'ne'eman Ata L'Hachayot Hakol, Baruch Ata Adonai, מחיי הכל. קדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוכו הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש, בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. My clicker isn't working again. There we go. Yismachu malchutcha shomrei Shabbat. Those who keep Shabbat by calling it a delight will rejoice in your realm. People that hallow Shabbat will delight in your goodness. Yismechu b'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat oneg Shabbat. Mekadesh Shvi'i Shabbat, Kulam Yisbe'u ve'yitangu mituvecha haShabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat bekorei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat bekorei oneg Shabbat. Hashvi'i ratzita bo v'kiddishto Shabbat. Emgat yamim oto karata haShabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat bekorei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat bekorei oneg Shabbat. zecher l'maaseh bereshit. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat we try to become attuned to the holiness in time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. On this Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call. Grant us enough health to fulfill our duties and the compassion we need to attend to others. Teach us humility that we may perceive our own faults, and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others. Give us the courage to be true to our highest selves and the charity to see the best in those around us. Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offerings be acceptable to you. We praise you, Adonai, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha be'yirah na'avod. Modim anachnu lach. To you we give thanks, giver of life and all good gifts. Grant us also wisdom to use only what we need, courage to trust your bounty, imagination to preserve our resources, determination to deny frivolous excess, and inspiration to sustain through temptation. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Sim shalom tova uvracha, grant peace, goodness, and blessing, grace, kindness, and mercy to us and to all your people Israel. Sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim berachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, barucheinu yotzreinu kulanu ke'echad, be'or panecha. Ve'or panecha natata lanu Adonai Eloheinu. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim berachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, Torat chaim ve'ahavat chesed u'tzedaka uvracha, ve'rachamim ve'chaim ve'shalom, ve'chaim ve'shalom. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed ve'rachamim berachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Take a moment for silent personal prayer. Say shalom bimrama, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. We continue with Seder Kriyat Torah, service for reading Torah. Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai, ve'en kema'asecha. Malchutecha, malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor vador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch le'olam vahed. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim heitiv avirtzoncha et Zion. Tivnei chomo Yerushalayim, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim. Ki vecha levad batachnu, melech eram venisa Adon olamim.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, u'devar Adonai mirushalayim.
v'mav shemo yachdav. Ve'akivuna ve'hatiferet ve'hanetzach ve'hahod. Ki kol bashamayim u'va'aretz ki kol bashamayim. Adonai amalecha bi'yamin ha'aseh lechol erosh. Switch me over, get you in a little closer. For most of the past 3,000 years, civilization was shaped by smallpox. The disease decimated entire populations, destroyed cultures, swept across continents, and altered the course of human history. Smallpox killed 5 reigning European monarchs in the late 18th century alone. For people born in previous centuries, the disease was a fact of nature, a part of life on this planet that appeared as impossible to prevent as natural disasters. And yet, over the last decades, the facts of nature changed. Widespread vaccination campaigns throughout the 19th and 20th centuries worked. The disease was eradicated. In 1979, the World Health Organization certified the end of smallpox. In this week's Parsha B'Shalach, the Israelites also faced a fact of nature that appeared immutable and devastatingly dangerous. As they fled slavery with their taskmasters in hot pursuit, they came up against the Sea of Reeds, a churning, impassable sea. But suddenly, their horizon literally expanded. Moses held out his arm over the sea, and the Eternal One drove back the sea with a strong east wind all that night, and turned the sea into dry ground. This was arguably the pivotal moment in Jewish history. We tell and we retell the story of the parting of the sea during every weekday Shabbat and Holy Day service, both morning and evening. It's recounted in prayer more frequently than the details of the creation of humanity or even the giving of the Torah. Why do we need to hear this story so often? Because it is in this moment that we realize that nothing is immutable. We saw that seas can split open and diseases can be eradicated. The facts of the world ceased to be facts. And we responded with this new awareness we responded to this new awareness with action as we charged forward into the sea. The waters were split and the Israelites went into the sea on dry ground, the waters forming a wall for them on their right and on their left. Often I find myself looking at the world from the perspective of the Israelites before the sea split. The challenges of our world feel as absolute and unchanging to me as the Sea of Reeds must have felt to Moses as he saw it in the distance, and as unassailable as smallpox appeared to my great-great-grandparents. However, This week's Parsha reminds me that nothing is truly unchangeable. Life can change in third world countries through human deeds. We can take action through advocacy, service, and education. Changes that would transform the quality of life in the world's poorest countries are not only necessary, but possible. Reducing the massive gap in wealth between the richest and poorest nations would expand the horizons of those countries as much as the parting of the Sea of Reeds did for the Israelites. Imagine how access to modern medical treatments, education for women, and food security would throw open the boundaries of our shared global community. The Israelites responded to the splitting of the sea with songs of praise. The Midrash teaches that this was the first time people collectively praised God. This, says God in the Midrash, this is what I have been waiting for. What exactly was God waiting for? Certainly God was not in need of human praise. Rather, God was waiting for humanity to recognize that the borders of our world are never fixed. And God was waiting for us to respond to the knowledge with awe and with action. The miracle of the Sea of Reeds is not just that the ocean parted. After all, an omnipotent God could split the sea at any time. The miracle is that the Israelites saw the ocean divide. And despite everything that they had been taught in the way that their world works, they charged forward on a dry, narrow path, which appeared like a sliver of hope between the waves. This week, as we hear the story of the crossing of the Sea of Reeds, may each of us realize that the horizons of our world are broader than we think. Oceans can crack open. The balance of world wealth can be shifted, and diseases can be eradicated. And may we respond to this wonderful realization as the Israelites did at the Sea of Reeds, with acts of justice and cries of joy. So we have a little treat for you because this is Shabbat Shirah, the Shabbat of the Song of the Sea, and it's a special Torah portion. Those of you who are regulars know that it has its own little chant, and it's such a beautiful thing that I can't do justice to. And since Cantor isn't here, I have brought in a colleague to chant it for us. Not live, but you'll see a special video he put together to allow us to not only see the Torah, follow it along, and also read along in the English. If you would like to follow along, I don't think you'll need your Chumash, but if you want to follow along in your Chumash and your Eitz Chaim commentary, it's on page 405. We're going to begin with Exodus 14:26. Once again, Eitz Chaim, your Eitz Chaim commentary on page 405. Exodus chapter 14, verse 26. And hopefully the technology will work and it will all go smoothly. So we're going to put the blessing for reading of Torah up. I hope you'll join with me, and then we'll go right into the Torah reading. Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten ha'torah.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה, נטה את ידך על הים, וישובו המים על מצרים, על רכבו ועל פרשיו, ויט משה את ידו על הים. וישב הים לפנות בוקר לאיתנו, ומצרים נשיאים לקראתו, וינער אדוני את מצרים בתוך הים. וישובו המים, ויכסו את הרכב ואת הפרשים לכל חיל פרעה, הבאים אחריהם בים, לא נשאר בהם עד אחד. ובני ישראל הלכו ביבשה בתוך הים, והמים להם חומה מימינם ומשמאלם. ויושע אדוני ביום ההוא את ישראל מיד מצרים, וירא ישראל את מצרים מת על שפת הים, וירא ישראל את היד הגדולה אשר עשה אדוני במצרים, ויראו העם את אדוני, ויאמינו באדוני ובמשה עבדו. אז ישיר משה ובני ישראל את השירה הזאת לאדוני, ויאמרו לאמור, השירה לאדוני כי גאו גאה, סוס ורוכבו רמה וים, עוזי וזמרתיה, ויהי לי לישועה, זה לי וענווהו, אלוהי אבי ורוממנו. אדוני איש מלחמה, אדוני שמו. ברכבות פרעה, וחילו ירב בים, ומבחר שלישיו טובעו בים סוף. תהומות יחסמו, ירדו במצולות כמו אבן. ימינך אדוני נדרי בכוח, ימינך אדוני תרעץ אויב. וברוב גאונך תהרוס קמך, תשלח חרונך יאכלמו כקש, וברוח אפיך נערמו מים, ניצבו כמו נד נוזלים, קפאו תהומות בלב ים. אמר אויב, ארדוף אשיג, אחלק שלל, תמלאמו נפשי, אריק חרבי, תורישמו ידי. נשבת ורוחך כיסמו ים, צללו כעופרת במים אדירים. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. נטית ימינך תבלעמו ארץ, נחית בחסדך עם זו גאלת, נהלת ועוזך אל נווה קודשך, שמעו עמים ירגזון, חיל אחז יושבי פלשת. אז נבהלו אלופי אדום, אלי מואב יאחזם ורעד, נמוגו כל יושבי כנען, תיפול עליהם אימתה ופחד, בגדול זרועך ידמו כאבן. עד יעבור עמך אדוני, עד יעבור המזוקן איתה. תביאמו ותתאמו בהר נחלתך, מכון לשבטך, פעלת אדוני, מקדש אדוני, כוננו ידיך. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. כי בא סוס פרעה ברכבו ובפרשיו בים, וישב אדוני עליהם את מי הים, ובני ישראל הלכו ביבשה בתוך הים. ותיקח מרים הנביאה אחות אהרון את הטוב בידה, ותצאנה כל הנשים אחריה בתופים ובמחולות. ותען להם מרים, שירו לאדוני כי גאוגה, סוס ורוחבו רמה וים.
And our blessing for after reading Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. In the presence of our open Torah, we think about our friends and neighbors, members of our community who are in need of God's blessing of healing. On this Shabbat, we are thinking about Audrey Aronchik, Deanna Aronchik, Charles Barna, Francine Barna, Baruch Ben Sion Ben Bracha Chaya, Osvaldo Barraza, Leslie Center, Sherry Center, Esther Bat Ariel, Dr. Helen Fagan, Susan Friedman, Stephen Geller, Marion Gordon, Rachel Bat Chana, Deborah Hartman, Peter Herrera, Gedalia Ben Ita, Shoshana Cecile Jacobs, Ed Johns, Mindy Elizabeth Jones, Susan Jones, Charles Cantor, Marshall Krolik, Benjamin Lechner, Jack Lieb, Judy Levy, Susan Linzenbaum, Leah Bat Margalit, Leah Tova Bar, Shmai Ben Michael, Robert Parker, Bonnie Partridge, Elka Rock, Shaul Ben Moshe Verivka, Barry Shanerman, Jana Schneider, Suzette Schultz, Lillian Stein, Kevin Webb, Sid Weisel, Yehudit Bat Rachela Vayanko, Dov Ben Yona. We ask God's blessing upon them. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzhak VeYaakov, Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah, Hu Yivarech V'Yirapeh Et Cholim, Kodesh Baruch Hu Yamalei Rachamim Aleichem, L'Hachlimam L'Rapotam L'Hachazikam L'Hachiotam, V'Yishlach B'Mheira Refuah Shlema, Refuat Nefesh U'Refuat Guf B'Toch Shar Chol Yisrael, Hashtaba Agalav Izman Kariv and Omar. We say, Amen. We are going to, if you'd like to rise as the Torah is lifted.
La 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 la.
Haftarah. The Haftarah comes from the book of prophets, from the book of Judges. Prophets. They are prophets. The book of Judges from chapter 4, interesting, a number of associations that come along with the Torah portion. First of all, the idea, the connection between Deborah the prophet and Miriam the prophet. Both of them women are there. But probably the more significant piece is that as we will read, there's a story of going to war, of succeeding, of taking care of the enemy in a rather gruesome way. But at the end of that, that there is a poem, that there is a song that is sung just as the Torah portion after we cross the Red Sea. There is a song. So we're going to invite you, if you'd like to follow along. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nevim tovim v'ratzav v'divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'nevi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. If you would like to follow along in your Torah commentary, it's on page 425. We're going to begin in the middle of the Haftarah with verse 14. Deborah is speaking to her general Barak, and she says, then, page 425, verse 14, then Deborah said to Barak, "Up, this is the day on which the Lord will deliver Sisera into your hands. The Lord is marching before you." Barak charged down Mount Tabor, followed by 10,000 men, and the Lord threw Sisera and his chariots and army into a panic before the onslaught of Barak. Sisera leaped from his chariot and fled on foot as Barak pursued the chariots and the soldiers as far as Haroshet Goyim. All of Sisera's soldiers fell by the sword. Not a man was left. Sisera, meanwhile, had fled on foot to the tent of Yael, wife of Heber the Kenite, for there was friendship between King Yabin of Hatzor and the family of Heber the Kenite. Yael came out to greet Sisera and said to him, "Come in, my lord, come in here, do not be afraid." So he entered her tent, and she covered him with a blanket. He said to her, "Please let me have some water, I am thirsty." She opened a skin of milk and gave him some to drink, and she covered him again. He said to her, "Stand at the entrance of the tent. If anybody comes and asks you if there is anybody here, say no." Then Yael, wife of Heber, took a tent pin and grasped the mallet. When he was fast asleep from exhaustion, she approached him stealthily and drove the pin through his temple until it went down to the ground. Thus he died. Now Barak appeared in pursuit of Sisera. Yael went out to greet him and said, "Come, I will show you the man that you are looking for." He went inside with her, and there Sisera was lying dead with the pin in his temple. On that day, God subdued King Yabin of Canaan before the Israelites. The hand of the Israelites bore harder and harder on King Yabin of Canaan until they destroyed King Yabin of Canaan. On that day, Deborah and Barak, son of Abinoam, sang, "When locks go untrimmed in Israel, when people dedicate themselves, bless the Lord. Hear, O kings, give ear, O potentates. I will sing to the Lord, will hymn the Lord, the God of Israel." finish in the Hebrew, the beginning of Deborah's song. Vatishar Devora Uvarach ben Avinoam, B'yom hahu lemor, Bifroa parot Yisrael, V'hitna Dev am Baruchu Adonai, Shim'u malachim ha'azinu roznim, Anochi l'Adonai, Anochi Ashira, Azamer l'Adonai, Elohei Yisrael. Join together in the blessing after the Haftarah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik b'chol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh, umekayem shekol devarahav emet v'tzedek, al haTorah ve'al avodah, ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה, שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל, אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך. יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Amen. We rise as the Torah is lifted. Return to the ark.
עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומכך מאושר דרכך דרכנו נם וכל נתיבותיך
At this point, we remember those who are no longer with us, those who we remember of our loved ones. On this spot, we remember Ingrid Roskin, who died over the past 30 days, for whom we are observing Shloshim. And we remember these whose yortzites, the anniversary of their passing, we commemorate this Shabbat. Florence Ackerman, Leonora Beich, Maxwell G. Berger, Evelyn Cohn, David Darlow, Bluma Di Veroli, Adeline Eidenberg, Sarah Espiedra, Michael Farrow, Polly Farrow, Samuel Finkel, Sandor Garfinkel, Susan Jeanette Garfinkel, Myra Glassman, Morton Glickman, Harry Goldberger, Arthur William Gordon, Cy Gross, Sandy Hark, Harry Heller, Irving Hertz, Albert Hoffer, Samuel Jacobson, Betty Joseph, Lily Kaltman, Coleman Katz, Samuel Katzker, William P. Katzman, Ariel Crook, Ira Lynn, Ida Metzger, Henrietta Moraber, Florence Nelson, Shirley E. Paxel, Pauline Paulson, David Plaxey, Terry Prager, Pearl Rosenberg, Herman Rosenblatt, Michael E. Rosenstein, Elias Rothkugel, Sanford Saferstein, George Schulman, Max Schwartz, Al Sherman, Bonnie Ruth Sisterson, Philip Solomon, Molly Spiegel, Dr. Benjamin Steinberg, Dora L. Teich, Solomon Tunkel, Hyman Turner, Lawrence Waxman, Evelyn S. Wexler. We join together for Kaddish Atom, Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'izman kari v'imru, and Yehei, there we go. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mavarach Le'olam Olomei Omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Dekudashah Richu. Le'olam min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. And Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Huyaseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Bimru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved. As together we say, Amen. Just want to again say Shabbat Shalom. First and foremost to say thank you to Marcelo Barsky, who always makes me sound good, and now I get to say thank you in his presence for all the work that he put in over last night and for the extraordinary Martin Luther King Shabbat. He arranged. You're very welcome, Marcelo. Thank you. He arranged all of the music and got all of the singers together with Cantor, so thank you. Just a number of people who sponsored our service, Andrea Darlow and family, Helene Gordon, Suzette Schultz, all who sponsored in loving memory of their loved ones. Ryan and Nirvana Sherman, happy anniversary today. Margie and John Sussman, happy triple high, 54 anniversary. And last night we called them out, Murray and Judy Swift, in honor of their 72nd anniversary yesterday. That's worthy of celebrating for more than one day. So happy anniversary to all of you, and thank you for sponsoring our Shabbat services. Just a reminder, you are welcome to join me for some physically distant conversation. Just a great way to get out of the house. You can bring your own lunch, or you can order from us a sandwich. Just a chance. We'll be out on the Sisterhood patio. Everybody gets their own table. We'll be far enough away from each other that we can enjoy lunch, but close enough that we can enjoy each other's company. So I hope you will join for that. I think there's one other. Nope, that's Ein Kelohenu. That's what we're ending with. I will tell you that we are getting excited as we transition into, move into February, that we are getting ready for Purim and our Purim Carnival, where instead of coming and being crowded into the social hall for a carnival, we're actually doing a drive-through carnival. That's where the car comes in. All kinds of fun Purim things for adults and children as well, so we hope that you will join us. We're going to be doing that on Sunday, February 28th, I believe is the day. That Sunday, right after Purim. So with that, we are going to conclude with the singing of Ein Kelohenu. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kimalkenu, Ein Kamoshienu, Michelohenu, Michadonenu, Michemalkenu, Michemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Emalkenu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Tahu Eloheinu, Tahu Adonenu, Tahu Malkeinu, Tahu Moshienu. We join together for the Shamru Kiddush and Motzi. Shabbat Lekachehu, God sanctified the Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom.